How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Farmmi. Ended up having a really strong day inside of the market. If you were watching the technical analysis in the prior videos, you would see it definitely did have a great setup when it had that pullback in the morning, testing that area of support we talked about around 30 cents, and then just going on quite the tear. I won't be wasting any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, and what are some levels that we can look for going into tomorrow for this play. I know many of you are involved in it, and I want to make sure you have a strategy going in. Of course, adding this to your homework and as well as your due diligence. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. Are shorts still heavily vested in this play? Are they increasing their positions or are they decreasing their positions? We're going to find out. And then we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution. Were institutions loading up on shares today? Where was most of the buying coming from? Was it on the retail side? All that stuff, we're going to be figuring it out. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Farmmi. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at 39 cents, being up 21.36%. On the low, it tested 30 cents, and then on the high, testing 41 cents. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 353.879 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 428.389 million shares. So we got a good amount of volume on the day, and which shows us there's a lot of demand for shares when it comes to Farmmi. Now, when we take a look at what's happening on our chart, we're using the 5-day, 5-minute chart, and we have been using this for the past few videos, so we want to keep it consistent. When we take a look at the RSI down below, you can see it's right around 60.56. So it definitely did climb, but of course we ended up experiencing a lot of momentum today. So when I was talking about inside of the previous video, I was saying, hey, you want to keep an eye on this 40-cent level. It is an area of resistance. So when FAMI was able to get past it, it got all the way up to 41.50. So there was a lot of buying pressure that was happening. But one thing that you can clearly see, there was selling, right? Soon as when it got past that 40 cent and got all the way to 41, boom, you see that big red candle right there, and we ended up pulling back. As far as that area is concerned, it was around 37 cents, and it was able to bounce off of that and then go into the close around 39. Also, I pointed out to the fact that you want to make sure that you're being patient and you're waiting into the open. All right, this is very essential. This is very key here. So we ended up testing 30 cents on the low. 30 cents. So if you would have caught this at the open, you see that confirmation is starting to build some momentum. Right at 30 cents is a great opportunity there, and you were able to actually ride this run up to where you possibly could have taken it even to 39 cents or even waiting to get out at that 40-cent area where we talked about which resistance was. So this is part of the reasons why I always emphasize you need to have a strategy. So as far as going into tomorrow, what I want to see FAMI hold up will be right around the 37-cent level, and most preferably going into the open. If it can't hold 37 cents, then I'm going to be looking for it to hold around 36, and if 36 doesn't hold, then I'm going to be looking for it to actually hold up around 34. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for FAMI. So we see from the dark pool short volume ratio, it is at 50.89%, and then for the dark pool short volume, it is at just over 113 million shares, and we can see for the short interest percentage of the float standing at 2.63%. Scrolling down further, the short shares availability is at 1.9 million, updated 27 minutes ago, and the short borrow fee rate is at 16.47%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of October the 4th, it was 53.84, and then the close for the 5th being at 50 50.89. So we do see a small reduction there, but one thing that is very clear, FAMI does continue to have short squeeze potential. So I will continue to keep this on the radar going into tomorrow. So now let's go into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Farmmi. So we can see here on the inflow, it was 34.01, and then on the outflow, it was 28.82. So we ended up having an inflow day. On the breakdown, you can see on the large, it was 4.30. On the medium, it was 21.90. And then on the small, it was 7.81. When we take a look at the outflow side, on the large, we had 4.84. On the medium, we had 18.16. And then on the small, we had 5.82. So taking a look at that breakdown alone, there was a lot of buying on the retail side. We also had a surplus on the medium size orders. As far as the difference between the large on the outflow, different story. Large scale orders in the last 5 days being an outflow being at 545.35. So taking this into consideration, there continues to be a lot of demand for FAMI shares. So if you're going to be inside of this play, you're going to want to keep an eye on the overall volume. But one thing that we do know for sure, this multi-day runner looks like it does not want to slow down whatsoever. And we are seeing buying and selling and some profit taking, but hey, the run is continuing. So let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Farmmi, I am very excited to see how it performs going into tomorrow. It had quite the day, and if you were paying attention to previous videos, we've talked about areas of support that you want to take notice of. We knew that 30 cent was an area of support for FAMI. I also did talk about the last thing that you want to do when it comes to this particular play is to wait to go into the open and wanting to buy at 34 cents or even at 33 cents. And we knew these were areas of resistance the day before. So taking that into consideration, if you're using the right strategy, you could see overall from your indicators, but again, it all depends on your overall setup. You could have gotten at a really good entry around 31 cents. It confirmed that bottom right at 30, and then it made that move, closing the day at 39 cents. So again, this is why I emphasize having a strategy is very important. And also knowing of the fact when we went on Fintel and it has short squeeze potential, there's going to be a lot of traders that are going to want to get into this play and run it up. We also did take a look at the chart in a couple videos back saying, hey, this could be a play that does a potential gap fill. So if it starts making that move, getting to that 50 cent range and then wanting to make that move going to 60, like I said, things can get very interesting here. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen, but as long as we have this buying pressure coming through the stock and a demand for shares, then I'm telling you right now, this uptrend definitely does look good, but I want to make sure that you protect your profits. Know what your entry is, know what your exit is. Don't be greedy. I just want to make sure you guys are cognizant of taking profits along the way, and if you don't decide to do that and you want to hold, just make sure you're doing your homework and you're doing your due diligence and make sure this is the right decision that works the best for you. So let's see how Farmmi performs going into tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and we'll be talking real soon.